Hello, and welcome to the Bear Me Alive podcast.
I'm your host, Technicality.
And I'm your host, Ghostly. That's the second time we just recorded that intro, and the first time I went ahead and introduced myself as Technicality there. So that was... good summary for the start of recording today. How you doing, Cal?
Well, I did not sleep at all last night, but I took a very long nap, so I should be relatively awake-ish.
Are you ever really, though?
No, but we ignore that fact.
Alright, what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the Loveland Frog, aka the Loveland Lizard. This is our first frog cryptid, which will be fun.
I like frogs. And I like cryptids. That's kind of our whole shtick. That's kind of my whole shtick.
Yep.
Wait, why are you the one doing this episode if it's my shtick?
Because I found the cryptid first.
Wow. I can't help but feel insulted. I'm gonna sue.
I had it on our notes page. You could have stolen it.
I'm gonna
sue. It was right there.
I'm gonna sue.
Who are you gonna do the podcast with, then?
The ghost that lives in my garage.
Stop trying to replace me with Margie.
Where did you get the name Margie?
I don't know. It's the first thing that popped into my head.
Freaking Margie. I
don't even know anyone named Margie. Anyway.
Oh, is that a real name? Is Margie a name?
I think so.
Anyway.
Moving on. Okay.
I want to learn about this frog.
So, the first sighting was in May of 1955 by Robert Honeycott. Robert saw 3 or 4 frog-like creatures late at night squatting under a bridge close to Loveland, Ohio. He described them as being 3 feet tall with wide mouths without lips, wrinkles on the top of their heads, and lopsided chests. And frog faces!
That's just me and the boys.
Kind of.
Yeah. I've hung out under a bridge one time, and it did not go as I planned.
What happened?
Nothing. That's why it didn't go as planned.
What were you trying to do, Ghostly?
I don't know. I don't know, maybe someone pops out, is like, hey, do I have to answer your riddles to cross this bridge? And I ask them what the population of China is, or something like that. I don't know, I didn't have a plan.
You wanted to become a bridge troll?
Yes.
So this is how cryptid stories start? It's people like you.
No, I wanted to be the goat man. So that way Shane Madej will hunt me down. BuzzFeed Unsolved reference. Anyway. I like these guys already. They have my bias. As long as they're not doing drugs or something under the bridge, I like them.
As he drew near, one of the frogs held up a bar-like device that shed sparks and left a pungent odor of alfalfa and almonds behind.
Okay, almonds?
Yep.
And what the heck is alfalfa?
That's a thing you feed horses.
Also, Robert is an idiot.
Yeah, Robert just got scared and ran away and never returned. He went against all advice this podcast stands for.
Would you like to recite our cryptid rule?
You see a cryptid, you walk up to the cryptid, you get the cryptid signature, you take a selfie with the cryptid, you interview the cryptid, you measure the cryptid's height, and then you send us an email with all of that. We are not liable for any deaths caused by cryptid encounters.
Also, don't forget to give them a hug. Lug your local cryptids.
Ask for consent first, though.
Oh, always. But, Robert, bro, My dude. My guy. Be nice to little frog people.
Yeah, I don't get why he'd run away.
What if they were offering him a gift?
They were 3-foot frog people with sparkly things. I don't understand why you'd run away.
I would ask if it was a gift. And then I would say thank you. Rude.
It's very rude.
Wait, what year was this?
This was in May of 1955.
Yeah, rude.
Incredibly rude.
I wasn't sure if it was like, I don't know what time period, but like they see that and they're like, oh my god, it's a witch or something like that.
The little frog people are witches. It's great. To be fair,
The frog people are witches.
there are reports of them using wands.
Okay, continue.
There were several reports of frogmen after, notably one where it had a wand and rained a parabola of sparks. But the most well-known report of it happened about 17 years after the first sighting. On March 3rd, 1972, police officer Ray Shockey saw a 3 to 4 foot frog or lizard-faced human near Loveland crossing the road in front of his car. When he came near it, it crouched like a frog, stood up, and then jumped or climbed over a rail into the Miami River. The police officer further described it as being about 50 to 75 pounds, having leathery skin, a possible tail, and maybe wet matted hair on its body that made it look textured.
Huh.
However, 2 weeks later, Officer Mark Matthews was said to have seen a lizard-like creature lying in the road. Now this is interesting because one article I read said that he shot at it, missed, and it got away, and another said he killed it, and later identified it as a large iguana. But either way, in an interview in 2001, Mark said he didn't actually see what the others described. He saw a lizard that was less than 3 feet long, probably someone's escaped pet running across the road, and tried to shoot it in an attempt to get evidence to back up the sighting his partner had, which was the other police officer, Ray Shockey, the one who had the sighting.
Another rule we have on this show is do not harm cryptids. No shooting, no stabbing, no strangling, no burning. I don't know what else you could do to them. No drowning.
So yeah, we don't really count Mark's sighting as an actual sighting. And one article also said that when Mark showed Ray the dead lizard, he confirmed that was what he saw. Though that doesn't really line up with the description Ray gave and the contradictions between articles about if he actually killed the iguana. So that is just interesting in the fact that the different articles don't fully line up on that kind of story, which is definitely interesting.
Well, okay. You said that there was 3 that first sighting? 4?
3 to 4.
Yeah. So if there's multiple of them, they vary. This time we don't have to theorize about families because we have evidence of a family. We're just friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be possible that they were all seeing a different guy.
It could be fully possible that those were just different cryptids and or just normal creatures.
But we don't cover normal creatures on this show.
We don't. There was also reports of other people seeing it in later months, but those were just wild and varied. There was one more very distinct sighting by locals through the years, including one in 2016 made by Sam Jacobs when he was by the lake with his girlfriend. He described seeing a huge frog that stood bipedal near the water and took several dark, as in hard to see, photos of it and sent them to a local news station. Now, again, these are dark photos, and it is interesting he immediately sent them to the local news station. But as they were more, they don't seem to really be intentionally set up or faked. So, although it could be, it's unlikely.
So, was this a case where talk was spread around? Were people talking about the cryptid?
It could be. Though it seems like the stories only really gained popularity after the Reishaki saw it, not after the sighting from Robert Honeycutt.
Sometimes when things like this get chatted about a lot, people fake things. And we don't like that here.
Yeah, it makes our job a lot more difficult. I just want to point out that I have my notes of the individual sightings with the different information pieced in, but I also have separate notes for individual pieces of information that are good for reference. And under supernatural abilities, I wrote cool brick that sparkles and smells nice. I might have wrote my notes at 12 o'clock at night, but we ignore that.
I mean, you were not wrong. So, we have fun here.
We do. But that is about it, I believe. Thoughts on the scripted?
I would hang out with them.
Well, yeah. I seem to vibe.
They're not malicious. We have some cryptids that we say we hang out with, but they're kind of malicious. They're just minding their business. I will say, why do I imagine them all wearing tiny little hats?
To be fair, I was kind of half imagining that too. Even though none of the depictions...
Yeah, they seem like they would wear hats.
You know what?
What kind of hats would they wear?
I think fedoras.
I would say...
I might be biased, but I think they'd wear fedoras.
You do like fedoras. I think I can see some fedoras. I see some little, pointy wizard birthday style hat things.
Also top hats. Top hats, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, now that's set in stone. No one can tell us otherwise. They wear hats in their free time.
Alright. We should make, a cohesive list of, our cryptid headcanons.
I think that'd be fun, yeah. Yeah, I think that about wraps us up for the day.
Alrighty. Closing comment.
If you see frogs with sparkly wands or bricks, and you walk up to the frogs, and you ask them to teach you their ways, that is all.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Bury Me Alive podcast. As a reminder, I'm your host, Ghostly.
And I'm your host, Technicality.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. Just listening is huge support to us. But we still have to do that annoying spiel. So if you're listening on YouTube, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to us, because we update weekly. And if you liked this, maybe you'll like what we post in the future or what we've posted in the past. And leave a nice comment for the sake of viewer engagement. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and click that little star button and rate us, because it helps people see our silly little thoughts about silly little frog guys. And I don't know, I feel like more people need silly little frog guys in their lives.
They definitely do.
Well, we hope to see and hear you again sometime soon. Goodbye!